Hey, it's live. I'm doing this a little bit different setup today. We're taking a risk, so let me make sure we're all lined up because I have my camera backwards, so I cannot see. Normally, I can see what's going on here, so let me make sure we're connected, and I'm gonna explain why. In the meantime, happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I just wanna make sure my head's not cut off in the image, blah, blah, blah. Because we're going to do a little demonstration today. It's kind of like a little mini workshop. Oh, sure, you can see me. Okay, there's going to be a delay on here, which is going to be weird, but we're going to work with it. All right, here's the deal. There's first, welcome, happy Monday. Yay, another brand new week, a week to set intentions and a week to really move forward in the direction of, haha, your dreams. Isn't that really why we're here? But not dreams like fluffiness or, you know, rainbows and yeah, that's all good. But I'm talking about real life dreams, like things that are really meaningful for you and things that bring you joy and light up your life and set your soul on fire and do all of that. And without that, life can get kind of boring. It can be just sort of humdrum. You can get up, you can go to the job thing, pay the bills, clean the house. But I really feel there's more than that. But here's the issue. You know, a lot of people talk about different epidemics. I feel there's an epidemic and it's emotional chaos. There's just a lot of it in the world. It's very rare that I, you know, get on the phone with anyone or talk with anyone who's not going through something at the time that doesn't make sense emotionally. And it's creating for them outcomes and an inner world that is unsettling. So I thought it would be fun because I talk so much with so many people about their goals and their dreams and their directions and their maybe they want to start a business. I tend to work with really caring souls who want to make a difference in the world. And they have this vision of helping more people. And unfortunately, if they're in a state of disbelief or experiencing things that are disheartening, etc., then that just doesn't come to fruition. Now, I am going to tell you, okay, I see Holly's comment. Hey, Betty. Yeah, I'm going to have some fun today, so you guys are going to play along. We're going to do some very primitive visuals about emotions. I'm going to try to catch your comments on my screen because I have my phone flipped around. I can't see your comments right away. So if I don't say anything right away, just know I will catch up. So here's what we're going to talk about today on Empower Hour in a very different setting. I'm standing and everything. Like we're doing like a workshop throwdown today. I'm very excited. I had this vision over the weekend. I thought, oh, yes, let's do visuals. Let's use props. We're going to use props today, folks, like real props. We're going to talk about emotions. Think about that word. Emotion, right? That's energy. Emotions are energy in motion, and we all have the exact same emotions. Not in the exact same ways. We do not experience them over the same events. But just know that if you're watching, you, just like me, just like any other viewer, have the same variety. We have this whole library of emotions. Everything from fun feelings like joy and happiness and, you know, just being excited and feeling enthusiastic, all the way down to, ew, overwhelmed, frustrated, maybe I'm embarrassed about something, or getting really down in the hardcore emotions, fear, anger, things like that, resentment, okay? So all of these emotions have their own frequency. Now, some of them, let's just get it out there, are not fun to feel. In fact, some of them suck to feel, am I right? Like resentment or embarrassment. Who wants to be embarrassed? Nobody wants that. Fear. And one of the top emotions, you would think that the top emotions would be the ones that are fun to feel, that I get to hear about all the time from the wonderful, amazing people that I talk with. And they're not. The one that I hear about the most is fear. I have a fear of this. I have a fear of failing. I have a fear of succeeding. I have a fear of the future. I have a fear of the past. I have a fear of reliving the past. Like fear, fear, fear. And then incorporated, all intertwined with fear or all these other emotions. And oh yay, once in a while I get some joy and I have some happiness, right? But these other not so fun feelings tend to come up more and more and more. And the problem or the issue there that I have with that is not that you have the emotion. See, that's what's different in this part of the, but like this community is different. We celebrate every emotion for the tool and the signal that it is. However, you don't want to stay in that feeling space if it doesn't feel good to feel it. Am I right? Like, seems so obvious. Am I right? That's not fun to feel. I don't want to stay in this feeling. I think I'll move out of this feeling. Simple Simon. And yet what happens? Fear, anger, resentment. Now, now I'm frustrated because my goals aren't coming together and the things that I wanted. So I just keep recycling the same emotions. What the hell? Those aren't the ones you want. Okay? All right. Hi, Liz. Betty says, my chiropractor told me to stand more at my desk. Yes. Standing is awesome. Even though I sit while I work, I eat while I stand. I stand while I eat, I should say. So yes, the body is not made for sitting, and we do way too much of it. And sitting also keeps you stuck in the feelings you don't want to feel, okay? But our goal here is not to banish some of these emotions or eliminate them. Miss Buttercup wants to get out. She knows I'm getting wound up. Hang on, folks. Pause for letting the dog out. Okay, go on. Skedaddle, Missy. Okay, now I have to make sure I'm relined up again because I can't see myself. Okay, so anyway, so the feelings, we don't want this, the goal here is, because there's this misconception when people talk about controlling how they feel. I can't control my feelings. I can't control my emotions. Your emotions are not, hear me out, they are not meant to be controlled. Your feelings, your emotions are meant to be felt. That's what they're for, okay? They're not meant to be controlled. You cannot, if you try to contain something, it doesn't do anything, right? And if you try to resist it, it's just going to persist. That's not our goal here. The goal is to, Betty could quote me on this, notice what you notice, okay? So the goal about emotions is keeping in motion. It is not staying in one emotion or frequency. Even the fun ones like happiness and joy, I love to bounce around between all of them. I like to be giddy and happy. I like to be really mellow and like calm. I love to just sort of take it all in. I was with some friends and clients on Saturday. Actually, my whole day was clients and friends, and that was really fun. I went from coffee morning to doing a reading for a client, and then I went and had afternoon time with another group of ladies, and 1 minute we're laughing, and then the next minute I'm just kind of taking it in, and then we're sharing, and I'm feeling connected, right? So I went through a series of good feeling emotions. Well, when we're in negative feeling emotions, you don't want to stay there. That is not the goal. And so when you feel like your emotions are out of control, I simply want you to recognize that they're showing up for a reason. You're not out of control at all. Your feelings, your emotions are a reaction to the experiences that you're having. And we're going to talk about a little myth busting around what's a negative experience and why it's really showing up for you, okay? All right, the demo we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about activation. How do you activate them? The positive feelings that you want if you're in a crappy feeling place. How do I go from crap to woo, like this, and maybe not off the charts, but how do I at least move in the feeling direction that I want to go in that's best for me? Because ultimately, why are we talking about this? Emotional chaos. Here's the coolest part, okay, of the work that I do, I have worked with people around the globe, Australia, Germany, Italy, Canada, around the United States. I have worked with people literally and met people from all over the planet. And you want to know what the thing is that we all have in common? We all have the same emotions. And we all have these visions and dreams. And when they're not working out and when they're not coming together for you, it's frustrating. And it can make you sad. We all have events that happen in our life that are sad, right? That create a sense of loss. People go through divorces. And so there's no difference. It does not matter where you're tuning in from on the planet. This applies to you because you have emotions. And if you're stuck in the emotions you don't want to feel, you're not going to see the outcomes that you want to have And I'm going to go into that today as well. And also, again, how do we activate the feelings that we do want to feel? It's so simple. You're probably going to roll your eyes at me because you're going to feel like, that just sounds too easy. But I don't like complicated. So if it's not simple, I'm not going to share it with you. And it is this simple as I'm going to break it down today. So you maybe want to get your note and your pen, or your pen and your paper. Maybe you want to take notes. Maybe you're going to watch your replay again. I don't know. By the way, if you're watching the replay, make sure and drop that in there so I know you're here, because I like to keep in touch. Okay, so we have this worldwide epidemic right now, emotional chaos, and it is created by all different things outside of ourselves, except it's really not. It's actually created by our perception of things outside of ourselves. Because where do you feel things? You don't feel things out there, right? You don't feel things out there about politics. You don't feel things out there about a relationship. You don't feel things out there about maybe your business or how it's not growing. You feel them on the inside. So really, the only place to change or shift anything is from the inside. However, it's your perception of what's going on out there that can also stimulate and activate what's going on the inside, and vice versa. If you have negative things and feelings that are going on the inside, that's what you're going to notice and pick up on in your outside world, because that's a match. Do you get that? So you're going to notice what you experience on the inside. If you are going through your life feeling down, stressed, depressed, fill in the blank with any negative emotion, you are going to perceive your life in a down, stressed, and depressed way. That is the perception of what you will see going on around you. Even if, now hang with me on this, okay? Think about a time when you were feeling down, stressed, or depressed. Just down in the dumps, man, like down. Something's making you sad, it's weighing on you, you're tired, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, and you see something like, okay, let's use this version, okay? So someone's like stressed, down, and depressed about a relationship. They're not connecting with their mate, or they're single and they wish they had someone, whatever the scenario is, and they're out and they see a happy couple walking totally in love. They're laughing together, right? They're rubbing noses, they're kissing, they're so in love. And what is your perception of that if you are down, stressed, and depressed about your status, about the state of your relationship, or the one you're not in, or the one you just lost? Ugh. You know, it's this perception that love sucks, man. I don't have it. Not happening for me. Ugh. Look at them. Look at them over there. Wait till they hit their butt, right? You have all these weird thoughts that are not happy. You're not celebrating with those people, thinking, oh my God, look at all the love in the world. Isn't it awesome? There's love everywhere. Even though I don't have it, this is a sign for me that I can have it. There is love in the world, but that's not how we perceive things when you're down in a vibration and a frequency that is stressed, down, depressed, anxious, angry. You will perceive events around you, no matter how positive or good they are, as a negative experience, because that is what you recognize. You can only see, recognize, and notice the vibration and frequency you are in. Now, when you start to make the shift out of that, you will like, oh, I just wish I could meet someone. And then maybe you see this couple and you go, oh, look, there is hope for me. There's someone in love. This is my sign. It's my reminder. Nicole said I would see signs. This is my sign that it's possible for me. You're starting to make the shift. Nothing out, see everything. That's why people will say, and I've heard this so often. Let me catch up on some comments here because I can't see them on my phone. Krista says, good afternoon on break. Yay! Oh, thank you. Awesome. Look at that. Productivity while we listen. Oh, we're gonna talk frequency talk today, my friend. We are getting into it. Okay, so what you are subconsciously carrying around with you is why you will only recognize. So I'll hear people will say things like, oh, I just wish I would have known then what I know now, or I wouldn't have made that decision back then. You know, I look back and I think, what a mistake. But see, here's the thing is that at that point, whatever that was, you cannot possibly waste time. You didn't miss anything because you weren't in the right vibration or frequency to pick up on that. Okay, and so what we don't realize, I've had so many great conversations over the last couple of weeks with caring souls who really want to make a difference. They want to help other people. Okay, and they have this big vision, and they've tried a lot of things. So raise your hand if you've tried a lot of things to make your goals come together, and for whatever the reason, you hit up against a bump, or you hit up against a wall, or it's not coming together, and you're like, ugh, I don't get it. I've tried everything. I'm doing all the right things. I'll hear this too, but I'm doing all the right things. I'm journaling, I'm meditating, I'm eating healthy. I'm still not losing the weight, or I'm still not meeting Mr. Right, or my business is not growing, I'm not getting any clients, or I'm staying at the same level. What is going on? Here's what we don't recognize, because it is obvious, but it's not obvious. To the untrained eye, it's not obvious. It's obvious to me, because you're going to get to see how I see energy when you and I might be talking about your goals, okay? Or when I'm interacting with someone, I can see what's going on in their energy body. Now, I've talked about this before. You have a physical body, so everybody touch again, this is like a workshop today. Physical body. You have your physical body. You can feel that, right? If I pinch myself, oh, I gotta pinch myself. Is this for real, right? You pinch yourself, you feel that. Well, you also have an energy body. Now, if we were in person, here's what I love to do to people. I have you stand in front of me. Now get ready, because I'm about to get up in your personal business, okay? I'm gonna get into your personal space, but I have to do it through technology today, not like I would do in person. But here's what it feels like when someone, pretend we're in person, right? If someone gets in your personal energy space, it feels like this. They get right up in your business, okay? And you're like, oh, did you ever talk to a close talker? And you're like, oh my God, they're so close to me right now. They're not touching you. Friends episode, please tell me you've watched Friends. Still not touching, not touching, right? So this is a lot of fun with your personal energy space. When you are in a negative impacting emotion, it contracts your energy. It can make it very small, very hard, very dense. It is not flow. Okay, I'm going to show you some visuals for that today. When you're in a positive, love how I feel kind of emotion, you're woo, and your energy's like free flowing and just like fills the room. That's why you're more attractive in the world to the universe, because you're wide open and you're big and you're touching other energy and you're reaching out, and so you're attracting to you by vibration and frequency the kind of things that you want and need to move you forward in your goals. When you are contracted and small or hard, you are not attractive in the universe. You condense and you shrink away and you become very rigid, and that is not flowy. Okay, good stuff doesn't go to rigidness. You understand? Rigid, flowy, two different frequencies, okay? We're doing a lot of silly visuals and examples today. Yeah, close talkers are the worst. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm also sorry if anyone, no, that's different than like Space Invaders. Exactly! Space Invaders of the creepy kind. No, I'm just kidding. Liz says, working on energy has been the best thing for weight loss. Exactly, because you just really, losing weight or weight on your body, it's all old energy. Didn't just appear like that. It's old energy, right? And it's a heavy, fat is dense, and so it's a dense energy not serving you, okay? All right. So, yes, close talkers. Unless it's like one of your buddies who's like, oh my God, I know, right? And they're right up and you're like, ha, that's different. Okay? Oh, okay. What I want to know is what you need to know. I want to know what you need to know, which is what negative emotions are lurking around in your energy body. And this obviously fluctuates throughout each and every day. Why? Because you have all the same emotions inside all the time. They're all there. You're not missing any. You didn't get gypped. Like, oh, look at Susie over there. She always is like so happy and I'm never happy. How did she get so happy and I don't get to be happy? Because you're choosing not to be happy. I know you don't want to hear that, but you know, that's what I'm here for, is to tell you what you need to hear, okay? Susie over there didn't get like an extra version of happiness, like 2.0, and you just got the like lame ass version where you only get it sometimes. No. See, you have all the same emotions all the time. They are all accessible, all available. Of course, we don't want to tap into some of them more than the others, right? Anger, frustration, shame, blah, 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 right? Except why then? Why are those surfacing more than the others? It's not because Susie's lucky. It's not because Susie was born different, okay? It's because Susie chooses to activate more happiness in her being than the other shit, okay? That's the simple truth. And I know we don't like to hear that. We really want to believe that it's someone else's fault, okay? Or that it's because of what someone said, that's why I'm pissed off, or I'm hurt because Joe's a jackass, okay? But that's not actually true or accurate at all. It is because we've been conditioned to believe, which I'm gonna talk about and bust the myths about what a negative experience is and why it's being perceived that way for you. And you don't want to do that, obviously, because, hello, you have the power to create and activate whatever you want to feel. So I know that some of you right now are feeling like, of course I would rather be happy than be pissy. Of course I would rather be like excited than overwhelmed. So that doesn't make sense to me, Nicole. I would never choose to be overwhelmed. I would never choose to be pissy when I could have all those other good things. So what the F? Well, that's what you're here to learn today. Except it's still true. Sorry. I have to let you know it's still true that you're choosing those things, but we'll kind of decode why that is so it doesn't feel so like, huh? Right? Okay, let's see. Let me catch up on some comments here. Doing comments a little different today, just because I can't see my phone. Uh-oh, I clicked on something. Hang on. I mean, I think we're still good, but it's what I can see versus what you guys. Okay, Betty says, if I'm constricted, can I still magnetize negative energy people? Oh, sure shit. Yes, ma'am. I've always wondered why weirdos seek me out to sit next to me when the whole room is full of empty seats. One, because I would guarantee when you go in subconsciously, you're saying, God, I hope no weirdos sit next to me because there's an empty seat, and I really hope that those weirdos just don't sit next to me because they always sit next to me. I always get the weirdos, right? So you got to go in and be like, I'm so excited to see what cool person I get to sit next to today. You got to shift that, okay? So yes, because subconsciously, you're like, please don't sit by me. You see him walk in the door, don't you, Betty? You see him walk in the door, you're like, I just know that guy's gonna sit right next, yep, here, right there he is, right next to me. So I know we don't wanna think that we manifest that, but we do, because energetically, weirdo walks in the room and he's like, where should I sit? Oh, I'm feeling a pull over by Betty. And he goes and sits by you. I'm being very animated today. I should stand up more often. If I've been in constricted mode, does it attract constricted? Well, so that's interesting. So you can attract different versions of it. So if you're in constricted mode and you're kind of like, I don't want to talk to anybody, yep, you might actually attract someone who's really needy and chats your ear off about all weird things because nobody listens to them, right? So it's like this thing where you're like, we attract what we think about. I hope no one talks to me. I'm going to attract someone who needs to talk to me. Like this is the kind of the opposite of the words and how we do that. Liz says, because I'm an emotional eater, my energy is what prevented me from changing my habits like healthy eating and exercise. Sure, because again, charge. We take in charge. Everything's charge. And charge is energy, by the way. So everything's energy. Okay. So I want to distract or get rid of, or so what do? And if I'm not speaking my feelings, what do I need to do with my mouth? What do I need to do with that charge? I got to distract this baby because I can't say what I want. So instead of saying, I'm going to stuff it in. So I'm gonna put food in my mouth because I can't say what I want. It's an opposite thing, right? Hopefully that made sense. Holly says, ding, 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 it's a choice. Liz, me too, such a bad relationship with food. Yeah, so if, I'll just tell you right now, emotional eating, you're not saying what you really feel. You start saying how you feel, you're good. Then food will serve its purpose, which is, and food is your mood, right? So if I don't feel good about something and I'm not saying how I feel because I don't think I can or no one listens to me or whatever the reason might be, so I'm gonna eat to make myself feel good because I can't get those words out to make me feel good. You start getting the words out, this is how I feel, this is what works for me, this is what doesn't work for me, I need to talk about this, hey, I've been thinking about something, here's what's been on my mind. You won't be thinking about shoving food in your mouth, that's not good for you, but that you think is making you feel good. So, speak. All right, speak, yay, woo. Okay, what's next, what's next, what's next? Okay, here's what I wanna know that you need to know. What emotions are lurking in your energy body? Now, for me, because I see energy, which is really hard for me to explain, but that's the only way I can call it. I see energy, okay? So you talk, you blah, 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 but I feel things and I see energy. That's the way it comes through for me. So I will see a person, but I see everything. I see their breath. I see how they move their body. They talk and I pick up on all these little things that I go, yeah, that sounds great, but you're nowhere near alignment for that. So you might go, oh, I have this goal, and this is what I want, and maybe sometimes, and this is what I'm seeing in their energy, and I'm like, where are you right now? Like all over, okay? Or they're like, yeah, like watch people's life, like this is one way to recognize energy, but I'm gonna give you a different visual way today. So here's a hint. If you knew what was lurking in your energy body that was not serving you, you would what? Go ahead, clear it. Okay, we call it get rid of it, but you don't really get rid of it. What you want to do, this is how I want you to see this from now on, what you want to do is activate the feelings you do want because they take priority over the ones that are not as what? Activated. However, we are highly activated by a lot of negative things we perceive as negative. So what is activated in your energy body? All of your negative emotions. I call them, now they're not good or bad. I want you to move away. There are no bad emotions. Okay, that's bad. No bad emotions, okay? Oh my God, I just got a visual, or I just saw the video of me dancing. Yeah, okay, so Holly says, interesting, I'll have to pay attention. Yes, so there are no bad emotions. Here's what I just want you to know. You just have emotions. It's all energy. Some, however, impact your energy negatively. That means it changes the frequency. There's less flow. And some, when you feel them, right, they activate, they flow, you have better energy. Why? Because there's less constriction. If I take a hose, right, this is what we used to say in chiropractic, but energy is the same way. If I have a hose and it's fine and I turn on the water and the water flows through the hose, the water gets to wherever it needs to go. If I take the hose and I put a kink in it, then what happens? The water gets backed up, right? It can't get through. What happens? Pressure builds up. What happens when you have pressure that builds up? It's a 4-letter word. It's called pain. When pressure builds up in your energy body, it will build up in your physical body. And when it builds up in your physical body, there's pressure. Now you have inflammation. That turns into pain, suffering, dis-ease. You have a lack of function, right? So you have dis-ease. Flow is ease. Dis-ease is the kink in your flow. Okay, so where the hell do these things come? Yep, bye Felicia, exactly. So why does this matter for you? Why does it matter? I mean, well, I want to feel good. That's obvious. Of course, everyone wants to feel good. By the way, that is your only job in this lifetime, is to feel good. If you do not feel good, you're out of flow. It is that simple. It is that black and white. There is no little, yeah, but this, but nope. Your job is to feel good. If you do not feel good, then you are out of flow. Your goal, okay, that was your job. Your goal is to recognize when you're out of flow by noticing what? How you feel, okay? So your goal, am I in flow? I feel pretty good right now. I'm in flow. I feel really stressed right now. I'm starting to move out of flow. Your goal is to recognize that so that you can act on getting back in flow. What do I need to do to calm my nerves? What do I need to focus on? What's going on? Where's this coming from? Okay, but the thing is that a lot of people don't understand where the shit is coming from. And because we're taught, like, remember the little kid books, like anger was red and sadness was blue, and right? But what the hell does that mean for energy? When I say the word energy to people, I love making energy tangible, which is what I'm going to do today if this works. What I'm going to show you, okay? Because this matters, here's why it matters, because time's a ticking. I know it matters because I want you to feel good and I care about you and I love for you to be happy, and if you're happy, I know you're healthy. That's wonderful, and that's the rainbows and the cupcake stuff. Here's why it matters, because time's a ticking. You're on this planet for a certain amount of time. How much time that is, I do not know. So it is for me, it is like of the most urgent precedence to help you understand this, because the longer you spend time in the emotions that do not feel good, the less likely you are to fulfill your divine purpose. And that has become really, really important for me, because I know that my calling is to help you fulfill that divine purpose. And you know what? If you're in a state in your life right now and you're okay and things are great and they're wonderful and this just sounds interesting, cool, because you haven't reached that point yet. But there's some of you who are watching right now who are not at that state. You had that long ago, and now you're starting to move into a state where you're really focused on your future. You're really starting to question, what's going to happen for me? Where am I going? Will I be able to do this? What am I doing right now? Does this even mean anything to me? The things that used to be meaningful and make sense for you and were significant are no longer feeling that way. Your energy is starting to kind of get a crust around it so that it can crack open, okay? And so this calling for those that are being called is where we're at right now. And that's really who I'm speaking to. Those of you who are starting to recognize that what used to work for you doesn't work for you anymore. You're starting to question where you are and where you're going, because what used to feel right just doesn't. It doesn't feel like a fit. It's starting to feel weird, almost off. Like, where am I going? What's going on? What am I moving into? Am I ever going to get there? I feel like there's something else, okay? All of this is emotional chaos. Right? Now, to move forward and to really fulfill your divine purpose, man, you're going to blow your own mind, because here's what the universe has in store for you. Something that you can't even believe about yourself. You have to get there, and the way to get there is to get rid of all the shit that's not serving you. And the shit that's not serving you is from your past. But not like you think. See, everything that's happened in your lifetime up until now has happened to serve you. Your perception of it may be a little off, and we're going to talk about that today too. Okay, let's see if I missed anything. I was like, man, I'm glad I caught. Yeah, this one came through over the weekend. I was like, is it Monday yet? Because, oh my God, is it Monday yet? Is it Monday yet? Is it Monday yet? I was really excited. Okay, so we're going to talk about just some emotions. If I could show you all of them the way I'm going to show you, I would. But we'll let your imagination kind of fill in the blanks for that, okay? Because what happens if you don't? I mean, even setting your divine purpose aside. But in the meantime, you're in relationships. You live in a physical body that needs health and function, right? It needs ease and flow. You may be a mom. Maybe you're a business owner. You certainly have to pay bills. And so there's the financial aspect of life. There are responsibilities, and all of these things, even though they are energy, they take energy for you to do them, to show up in them, to complete them, right? If you're not expressing your feelings, then things like we just talked about, emotional eating, maybe it's a weight loss journey you're on. There are other factors playing into you stepping into your mission and fulfilling this divine purpose. And I want you to know that right now, there are a lot of people who are not feeling this pull. They're not feeling the calling. They're fine right where they are, and that's a beautiful thing. It's not their time, okay? And we need people, like, can you imagine if the whole entire world right now felt this, like, shit, my life's not working like that? But there's a lot of people right now who are feeling that, And they're getting labeled with things like diagnoses and disorders, and they're being told that they have depression. And so now they're walking around with a fucked up understanding of what's really happening for them. And that's wrong. Because now if I'm walking around in my life like, oh man, I'm depressed. Oh, I'm just depressed. They told me I'm depressed, so I'm depressed. And then they take these medications that completely numb the F out of their emotions. How are they ever going to step into their divine calling? And what if that's their journey? That is a problem for me. I have a problem with that. Because it can feel confusing, and it can feel like, oh, I just had a client over the weekend. I did a beautiful reading for her, and she sent me these questions, and what about this, and what about this, and what about this? And, you know, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just my age, or maybe I've just lost this, like, I used to be so motivated, but maybe it's just this, and maybe it's just, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What you need to understand is if you're being called to step into your divine purpose, the things that took up space and energy and time and focus for you need to go away. Okay, so certain things that used to be of interest for you, or you used to feel super mega responsible to take care of, they're not going to hold that presence in your life anymore. They need to fall away. Why? Because literally we can't do it all. But you can do what you're meant to be doing. Okay, and so the universe is trying to help you, and your intuition is helping you create space and increase your capacity by allowing some of these things, friendships, relationships, jobs, interests, hobbies, to fall away. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, Chris has to go clock in. Awesome. Yes, cook with Krista. Woohoo! Okay, so this is why some of the shifting's going on, and some people are freaking out because they don't know what's going on. They're like, I don't get it. I used to love my life, and now I wake up and I look around and it's just stuff, and I don't want just stuff. I want something more. I want this meaning. I want this purpose. I want to help people. I want to make a bigger difference. Or they're just waking up and feeling like they're really alone in their life, and nothing all of a sudden doesn't feel recognizable, right? So, okay, so yeah, there's some need for this right now. Edumacation, my friends. All right, let's get in. Okay, I want to talk now about negative impacting emotions versus positive impacting emotions, and how negative impacting emotions are going to influence your outcome. Because what do I talk about? I always talk about how, and beliefs equal creation. What you believe is what you create. No matter what's going on around you, just like that happy couple, or you see a little puppy, and it makes you cry because you're sad and depressed. But a puppy should make you like, yay, they're so cute, whatever. But your dog just passed away and you're super sad. You see a puppy and you're like, oh my God, I miss my dog, right? So even positive things on the outside can create and activate negative impacting energy, okay? So here's why when people say, I don't understand, now this is where I'm gonna have to watch myself here. Not watch myself, but I mean watch the video, make sure I'm, okay. Liz says, I have a problem with people stopping their mental health journey with medication only. Also, however, as a mental health professional, I would like to say that as medication is necessity and very helpful for some people, the hope is that people use medication as a tool to help stabilize them as individuals and in their relationship and other function, and the medication helps. See, I don't agree with that, but I understand, I respect your view, but I know that people can activate, and what they focus on expands. So there's so many variables to that, which I get what you're saying, but it goes against my philosophy, so I can't, but it's yours. See, this is where we're okay to disagree. And the thing is that the things people have been focusing on have been impacting their internal chemistry. So I do agree on that there is an imbalance, but I just feel that because there are a lot of people, and I've watched them and I know them personally, and I was raised by one who took tons of fucking medication, and she is a mess. She never did the work. So I know what you're saying. I know you're saying, well, this can help people, but they still got to do the work, which is why we agree on many levels, right? But I never can stand here ever in my lifetime and ever say that I believe that somebody needs to go take a med to get something. Now, I also believe, like, somebody has a heart condition and their heart is going to stop. Okay, yes, I feel that the body, so in this I have to agree that people need sometimes some assistance when the body has broken down so bad that it cannot function, but I also know that the body rebuilds itself, and so there's a journey to it, right? So people who do that, they also change their diet and their exercise. So yes, if people choose, because I'm not a doctor and I don't diagnose people, that's not my job, if people choose to go on a medication for their mental state and their mental chemistry, then I hope to God that they're gonna do the inner work. Because if they don't understand this stuff, none of that will change. And people become dependent. The body then becomes dependent on it, and then they don't take it right, and then they go off it, and then they go around and shoot people, and I have a lot of opinions on that. Okay, Holly says she has to catch a replay. Awesome. So, and the trouble is there's just too many people that are just turning to medication, and they're feeling that they're broken, and they don't understand that there is internal things they can do, and it is literally about losing your conditioned mind to create a new one. Right? So yes, sometimes the body needs assistance and it needs aids and it needs guides and mentors. And there are certain people that the work that I do, they're not ready for that yet. And so they need to go through certain steps and processes. But then also what you focus on expands. And so we have to look at that, right? Okay. Sorry, there's certain things I can't agree with. But not because I disagree with you. You have your experience, I have mine. So this is cool, right? It's good, it's real. All right, so this is the thing. So people wanna know, when I talk to them, I don't understand, I'm doing the right things, and I just still feel stressed out, okay? So this is where I'm gonna hope this works as a visual, because I'm on a tiny little camera screen. And so what they want to know is, how come I'm doing all these right things, but what I want is not happening for me? And here's why. Because, this is why I'm hoping this works, because I have really sticky tape, but I don't know. I know this is very silly, but this is fun, right? So people are walking around, they're like, I don't get it. I mean, I've tried to be positive. I'm doing my journaling. I've been meditating. I've been taking my meds, but I still feel like shit. How come? I don't get it. What's going on? And what they're not seeing is what they're carrying around in their energy body. See all these raggedy, jaggedy emotions that I have? By the way, none of these are the bad guys. Anger gets a bad rap. Guilt gets a bad rap. Fear gets a bad rap, okay? These are not the bad guys, but they're not meant to stick around. These are warning signals, but I want you to notice how I created these. They're very jagged. They're very like, they're not flowy and fun and sweet. They're not meant to be. So the fact that we have so many people walking around the planet thinking they're stuck with these emotions, it's actually wrong. These emotions are the most activated in their system. And when you activate these because of an experience that you think is negative, and you rethink it and you rethink it, and you, every time you think about it, you re-add the emotion, you strengthen and reinforce that emotion attached to that experience. We remember things because of the emotions attached to them. So the emotion is actually the end product, right? So you have an experience, and depending on your perception of the experience, it becomes what? Positive, impacts you positively, or what? Negative. So if someone makes me feel guilty in my life, I step out and I do something really excited and I invest in myself. And someone's like, oh my God, how could you spend money on that? You're so selfish. Now I feel guilty. Smack on the guilt. So now every time I go to what? Invest in myself or do something good for myself, I feel guilty. I talked with a woman. Shame was her primary deal, man. She would take care of everybody and everything. But she had so much shame for something that she thought was her fault in her past. 22 years ago, she wouldn't do anything for herself. Why? Because when she would get to the moment of doing that, nope, I don't deserve that. I have tons of shame. Shame is activated in my energy body, so I'm operating from shame instead of operating from flow. These are not meant to stick around, but this is basically, if you looked at the majority of people walking around, you could throw depression on here, you could throw anxiety on here. They're walking around as if they're labeled like this. So this is why I have a problem with people just turning to something and not doing the work, because they don't understand until you do what? Deal with them. How do you deal with them? Well, first I want to talk about negative experiences. Oops, hang on. Embarrassment and guilt are going together there. Okay, so now let's talk about what happens. Who determines what a negative experience is? Who decides that? It's not, someone could have an experience and they think it's negative, but who determined it's actually a negative experience? The ego. The ego said, that asshole was mean to me. I had a negative marriage, right? So, or that person, they didn't even pay attention to my feelings. So it's a negative experience, right? And so all these negative emotions are activated. Now what? Now you go through your life. So let's say this starts in childhood, which it does, because you're not born with those experiences, are you? You're born fresh slate, unless your mother carrying you, which we won't even go into today, had a very negative experience while she was pregnant with you. It's all energy. And don't think that all those things weren't activated in your system from her system. You were absolutely connected to her system. But today we're talking about you. You move through your life, you have these experiences, they feel negative. They activate negative emotions. Now you start to perceive life from that frequency. And you start to create and attract what? Relationships, missed opportunities, or whatever might be from that place. But it's not actually negative. It impacted your system negatively. The story that was created by you is what made it negative forever. Okay? These are the golden nuggets that I work with to help you understand the spiritual perspective of what happened. Because if you had a negative experience and it brought up all that shit and you're operating from that frequency in your energy body subconsciously and you don't know it, I can promise you, you're not going to have the outcomes or the life or the energy that you want. It's going to continue the pattern over and over and over in different versions. They'll have different names. They'll look like different people. They'll look like different jobs, but it will be the same. You have to change the pattern. If you don't change the pattern, you're going to activate the same emotions over and over and over again. And I can tell you one thing, medication don't do that for you. All that does is numb out the feelings you're feeling, which are only meant to get your attention. If I have a negative impacting emotion, I notice it. I notice it a lot. And this is, people will laugh at me when I'm talking with clients. I go, so when you have anxiety, do you notice it? And they go, well, yeah. Mission accomplished by anxiety. Mission accomplished by your intuition. But here's the original problem. Nobody ever taught you a effing thing about intuition growing up. Now, hopefully, if you have children, you're teaching them now. Hint. I wish I would have taught my kids earlier on, right? But theirs didn't come until 18, 19, 20. It was harder to get through because all the stuff had already happened and implanted, right? So now we're looking at that. So how they are intended. Every experience you've ever had has only been intended to help you rise. It's only been intended to get your attention, to teach you a lesson, to make you aware. It was never, ever, ever intended for you to stay in that experience by pattern of activated emotions. Okay? It was never intended that way. But that's what we've been taught. You should have known better. How could you do that? Why didn't you do that? You're not good at that. And we developed the story to back up the pattern. We stay in the pattern. So now it's 10 years later, and you're like, man, I don't know. I'm still doing the same thing. Or how come I feel like I'm starting over all the time? Or how come I always seem to date or marry the same person? Because the pattern stuck. And that's not what was intended. The experience was to help you recognize, right? Obstacles are just to show you like where to pull your power from, what you need to activate to get past the obstacle. Negative experiences, the perception of it, we need to change the perception. So if you have something in your past, guaranteed every human being does, we all do. I've been having shit come up all weekend where I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, it was this time last year when, right? So I got stuff myself, because you might think that, oh, great, once I have all this insight and I'm doing all these things, I won't need to like do this stuff anymore. I just do it once, and nope. Which is the other reason why, sorry, I have an issue with medication, because you got to do the work forever. You got to do the work forever, right? It's the same. You got a cardiac issue, or you need to lose, you don't just eat healthy for a day and then, oh, good, I'm great. You know, you got to keep it up, right? And that's just part of life. That's just our thing. Like, we got to own that, right? So the thing about, let me see, I probably missed a bunch of stuff. Liz says, that's an example of the work we do in infant mental health. Exactly. You can absorb other people's energy. Yep. Even at birth. And it definitely affects you. That's my passion. Exactly. Because it's all energy, and energy is always transferring into one thing. And the energy is never eliminated. It's never destroyed. Energy simply transforms and transfers into something else. So absolutely, right. There can be a lot of that. Oh, Chris says we'll have to catch a replay. Okay, so that is what happens. So this is why trusting yourself the most. This is why really understanding and learning your emotions is so important, because what do you want to get to? Well, you want to get to the point where you're only activating the positive feeling emotions, right? Now, obviously these look a lot different. They're kind of... long hair. It's like a name tag. I always hate wearing name tags with tape because your hair gets stuck in them, right? These are a little more flowy. Look, I got conviction. Here's ease. I got compassion. What else did I make here? Peace. I only have so much sweater to go around, folks. Love. What else we got? All right, that's all I made for the... These look a little different. They're flowy, they're light, they're fun. Okay? These are the emotions that you want to activate. If you're walking around through your life with these easygoing, flowing emotions, I'm expansive. I'm not rigid. I'm not contracted. I'm not shut down. I'm not afraid. Look, I'm full of compassion and love, and I have confidence and joy, and I have conviction. And look, there's ease in my beingness. There's ease in my beingness. But then I'm going along really, really good. Okay, where's the one I want? I'm going along really, really good. I mean, I've been having the best time. I got these ideas. I have this vision. I'm so excited. I've been doing some of the right things, and I'm starting to notice this shift and this change. And then I start to step out of my comfort zone. Uh-oh. There goes my confidence. I've activated my fear. Uh-oh. Well, conviction? No, I don't have conviction. What if I do it wrong? What if I do it wrong? Remember that one time when I was made fun of, and I was made to be ashamed? And you know what? I don't feel so joyful anymore. Do you see what happens? Okay, this is the shift and the change that's going on in your energy body. Here's what I want you to notice. I feel afraid, but wait. It's not just that was a long time ago and that's not today. What do I need to do with that experience that's coming up for me right now? What is this feeling I'm having right now where I feel afraid? What is it reminding me of? Oh, it reminds me of that one time when I did that and I took a step and I stepped out. And nobody believed in me. And I lost something. I lost a friendship through that experience, or I lost money through that experience. And it's reminding me, it's reactivating my fear. But you know what? I learned a lot from that experience. In fact, I really learned a lot. I know more than I ever knew before. I know what not to do. I have more conviction. I know this is so silly that I'm taping things on myself, but are you getting the feel here? Here's what I want you to know. It isn't that you have more or less of certain emotions. It's not that you're missing any. It's not that you can't have confidence, conviction, joy, because everyone has the same emotions. I want you to bring your attention to what emotions are you reactivating, reinforcing? Which ones are you creating more of by stimulating them, by keeping the impression that you had negative experiences in your past? You did not, by spirit, you did not have any negative experiences. You had soul-serving experiences. The trick to this is understanding how to transform the energy of those negative experiences so that they are activating within you what you needed to learn, what you needed to know, so you can move forward free-flowing in the positive vibes, doing all the things that you are here to do. If you resonate with what I said earlier about feeling disjointed in your life, about feeling disheveled, unsettled, I don't know, this, that, and the other thing, and you have shit in your past, because we can call a spade, okay? If it's showing up and it feels like shit, it's still serving you in a shitty way. If you have stuff in your past and you want to know how to make it a positive experience, that's when you come work with me. That's just as simple as it is. I don't get into, like, this doesn't take a long fucking ton of years and you got to go through years and years of therapy. That's a bunch of bullshit. I'm going to tell you it's not. It is so simple. It is as simple as that. It is about you getting the perspective that you need to have on what happened in your past. Don't think for 1 second, well, yeah, but I was in a relationship for, 12 years, so it probably take me at least 10 years of trying to work through it. Absolutely not. That's as fast as it has happened for some people I have worked with. I have talked with women who had something happen 22 years ago. They lived with it. They reinforced it for that many years. And in a 30-minute conversation, it was gone. Less than that. Really, it happens in a moment. Okay? This isn't about, like, this is going to take forever and it's really, really hard and I got to do all it, because we have all these misconceptions about healing. Healing happens in a moment. And the process starts to reverse. When you take something that has been out of flow back into flow, immediately healing occurs. Now, the impact of being out of flow for the amount of time that someone has been, that's what you have to work on. Because yes, if someone's been abusing their body or not, caring for their thoughts or their mind or themselves for however many years, then yes, the impact unfortunately has taken a toll, and it can be greater than someone who's just recognizing, wow, I've just been kind of rough on myself lately and I was really good to myself before. I got to get back in the flow. So this is the process that I teach. You got to recognize when you're out of flow so you get back into flow. Why? Because your body needs ease. If your body's in dis-ease, you're going to get a disorder. That's the problem I have with everything you're being taught out there right now about mental health. Disorders. You want to walk around with a disorder? Let me tell you how to get order. You get order in your emotions. Emotional chaos creates disorder. There is nothing that is so permanent that you can't turn it around. And I just want you to know that. So that's my boldness, because I've watched it happen. I have worked with clients who were in therapy for 20 years, who told me they did more in an hour with me than they did in 20 years. That's not an accident. That's because I helped them understand how to activate what's already in them. You're not missing anything. There's nothing going on in the world that's making you feel the way you feel. You got to get out of that mindset right now, because everything you feel is where? It's right inside. Yeah, it's in your energy body, and I'm showing you this funny little thing with these pieces of paper to give you a visual, but the truth of the matter is that everything you want is already in you. You already have it. But it's that other bullshit, the perceptions of what happened in the past, that is creating for you this misinterpretation of how everything was intended. You are here to succeed. You are here to flourish. You are here to be joyful, filled with love, experience wonderful, amazing things. The fact that, yes, there are some people in the world who create more chaos. Yes, there are people who for some reason, they don't get it and they want to hand out emotional chaos. That's all a fact, but you don't have to buy into that. What I'm here to help you understand is how to get into the process so that it works for you. So that, because the truth is, it's this simple. Here's how you're going to activate the feelings you want to feel. You want to feel love? Where's love? You want to feel love? thank you for the love inside. You want to feel ease? I'm so grateful I have ease in my body. All you have to do is put your focus and your attention on it. Activate it. Bring your presence to what you want. Stop talking about what you don't want. Stop talking about what isn't working. Then you wonder why you feel like shit. There you go. It is that simple. I do not, in a way, as if I'm powerless, talk about the shit in my life I don't want. I don't focus on what I can't change and do something about. Man, I'm on the inside. You need to live inside out if you want to live a life that feels good, with these fun feeling emotions that create more flow and like it's this perception that I'm never getting anywhere. Stop saying that. You're always getting somewhere. Okay? Now, how do you change all this? How do you shift it? How do you get in the habit of only activating what you do want? How do you get in the habit and the process of only focusing on what is working, talking about that, magnifying that? Well, it's a practice. It's not an event. And you have to get support. If you haven't been able to do it up until this point consistently, always get support. And the support I give is different, because you're not going to talk about your past experiences and tell me about them and feel through them and how bad they were and blah, blah, blah. Nope, you're going to step into the power seat. And you want to know what that is? That's being the observer in your life. You're going to step in, you're going to be the observer, and you're going to recognize, here's what happened, I see it now, and here's how it didn't serve me, but here's the lesson I can pull. Until you repurpose that energy from that experience, it will continue to replay out the same pattern forever and a day, forever of your life. You have the power to change that. I don't, but I can teach you how, right? I do it every day. I do it every day. And I live in a space where sometimes I go, wow, this is weird, because life's pretty calm. But that's because that's what I activated. I like my life calm. I grew up in a state of constant chaos. Constantly. Sitting in the room. Mom walks in. Half out on Valium. Half out on whatever. Crying. Complaining again. Making me feel guilty again. Life is so hard again. Oh, we gotta move again. It was always chaos, and it was always someone else's fault. I grew up terrified. There were such bad people in the world, I thought. And I was like, man, I was effed because everybody else was lucky. She walks in the room, my mom said, they don't know what it's like. They have money. It's you and I against the world, kid. So you know what? That's just a bunch of bullshit. That's an excuse. Man, I want people to be accountable. I want you to take ownership. How do you want to feel? Let's activate those feelings. What do you want to see in your life? Let's activate it and make it happen. I can teach you the process. It's really simple. It's so simple that sometimes you have to sit and think about it because it seems too simple. Why? Because for years and years and years, maybe you've suffered with something. For years and years and years, maybe you've thought about something you don't want to think about. Maybe for years and years, you try to convince yourself you were fine when you didn't feel fine. That's why a lot of times they'll say, I don't get it. I tell myself, I know better. I don't care what you're saying consciously. I work with subconsciously. That's where we get into the stuff. It's you activating what you want to feel. Because those perceptions you have of what happened, those emotions are your perceptions of what happened, are reactivating and creating for you the same pattern of not getting what you want, not getting where you want, not feeling how you want, only feeling what you don't want, right? I say put an end to it. So here's what I'm going to offer, right? Because there is a big need for this, and because it's so simple and yet mind-boggling, and you need the support, I have a program that teaches you the process while you get support, right? And it's the Conscious Dream Creator Program. Now, it's only $11.11, so it's $1,111 only until November 11th. However many people get in on it from now until then, and that's working one-on-one with me, okay? So it's $11.11 until $11.11, and then it goes up to $1,777. Because right now there's a huge shift going on. If you are working a full-time job, but you want your own business because you want to help people, not just because you want your own business, you want to be your own boss, and I get all that, but I'm talking on a deeper mission level. and you have tried a lot of things. You bought a lot of programs, you've tried a lot of things, nothing seems to come together, you're a little bit stumped. Where do I get the clients from? Why isn't this happening? I don't even know if I can do this anymore. Your confidence is starting to kind of, falter side to side. Then we need to have a conversation about it and get you enrolled in the program. Now, if this isn't the right program for you, I'm going to tell you that. Because I do have a lot of clients I work with, they're not quite there yet because their energy is way too frazzled to step into something like that. I had a conversation with a woman over the weekend, and what I told her was, it's basically like there's a line, okay? And you're on this side of the line. And on the other side of the line is your commitment that you're going for it and you're not turning back. Because when you don't have the confidence or conviction, because you've got all this other stuff going on in your energy body, you're going to go back and forth. You're going to feel wishy-washy. Some days you're going to be really good, but then you're going to back off. But then you're going to go in, but then you're going to back off. Nope, this is a full-on commitment. Now that sounds really scary, but it's not. Because when you step over the line, there's going to be another line. And then you're going to step over that line, there's going to be another line. You understand? And so sometimes things happen and you may feel like you actually pull away from the line. So I never enroll someone in a program with me unless they're ready for that program. And I'm going to help you assess that. But first we need to have a conversation. I'm very selective about who I invite to work with me and what programs you are actually enrolled in or what I suggest. Okay, I have another client and I'm working with her because her energy is very frayed, very frazzled. She has a lot of anxiety and we have to help her understand these past experiences. And even as you were listening today, every time I said a past experience with some negative connotation, something would pop in. That's an example of what needs to be repurposed so that it's showing up in the spiritual sense. Now, sometimes those take time. They don't happen right away, right? There's a severe rawness or loss. But this is about having a conversation because I'll ask you, how much longer can you go on like you're going? Because even if you're taking it slow and you're like, it's okay and I'm getting there, that's fine for a while, but then you start to get like, am I getting there? Because you're not seeing massive shifts. You're not taking massive action. And some people think, well, I need to just hang back and kind of this or that. That's good for a while, but at some point you have to take massive action. Otherwise, it's not inviting or convincing enough for you to see massive change. See, if I only take little bitty baby steps here and there, here and there, here and there, meanwhile life is blowing up all over and I still have the same perceptions, I am going to question at a deeper level whether or not I have any chance at making this happen. But if I take massive action and I have absolutely the right support and energy tools, and I see what my massive action creates, that positive, massive shift in my life, man, I'm in. I'm in. I'm not backing off. I'm not going to dibble dabble. I'm not going to lose my faith because I saw it, man. I experienced it. And that was the shift that I made where I went from dibble dabbling, wanting it, wishing it. You can want all day. You can want something all day. That's only where it starts. Wanting doesn't get you shit. Wanting just helps you get aware of what it is you want. Okay? It's the shift that needs to happen. I help you with the shift. I help you with the shift so it sticks. It doesn't go away. All right? So if you've been in this, like, I don't know, and I tried things, and it's not working, and what's going on, then let's have that conversation and see if Conscious Dream Creator is the program for you and move you into it. Okay? It's 12 weeks. You're going to work with me. You're going to do your own self-study things, and we're going to get you the shift so that you see yourself through your spiritual eyes. You're going to see your past through your spiritual eyes. You're going to understand why things happen for you so that you're not trying to avoid them and everything else, right? I am sure I have missed comments. Let me look. Tracy says it does happen. Hey, Jennifer. She says makes sense, and I apologize if I did miss anyone's comments. I will go back and catch up on those. So here's what I want to know as well. What's not coming together for you? Not like you want it to. Maybe not as fast as you want it to. Or you feel like you get 5 steps ahead and then, blah, blah, blah back, because that's how we label some things. That's not accurate, but it feels that way, right? Or you feel like you're spinning your wheels, or you feel like, God, I have all these ideas. I just don't have time because maybe you're still working a job or you're trying to fit this in, or you have the kids and the family and you're feeling all over the place, right? What is it that's not working for you? And what have you been trying and feeling like maybe is falling apart or you're failing at? How much longer are you willing to wait? Because you can wait on it. You can. have to, that line, that's what I told her actually. I said, I don't want you enrolling in the program until you're 100% ready to step over that line. 100%. Not like, yeah, I'd like to, it sounds really cool. I mean, this is what I want. Nope. Conviction. And how do we activate conviction? Bring your presence to it. How do you activate confidence? You bring your presence to it. I'm good at things. I know things. I'm an expert at who I am. I can show up. I can make things happen, right? And right now, I've created and I'm holding space for certain people. Not everyone's going to be called to this, and I'm okay with that. Your time will come. And maybe your calling is for something else right now. Maybe it's like what I talked about, where I'm working with someone more intensively on her energy to get her out of that anxious feeling space. That's what I have to assess, not because I don't believe what you're called to, but it wouldn't do you any good if I had you enroll in a program where you're like, not ready for it, right? I mean, I wouldn't like sign you up for a marathon tomorrow and be like, good luck. That would not make sense, okay? So this is, if you are specifically noticing a shift in your energy, what used to work for you doesn't work for you anymore. You feel like you're supposed to be doing something else. You're meant to be doing something else. You don't feel as at ease about where you are right now. In fact, you might even resent it. You're starting to kind of look around your life and feel like, I don't get it. I was working for all this stuff and now I don't know what I'm doing. What is it all for? Where's the meaning in all of this? You're looking for more meaning and purpose in your life. You want to see yourself through your spiritual eyes so that those versions, right, of your past that feel jaggedy and negative and yucky and, right, you want to learn, like, what were they really meant for? If you're really curious, by the way, what those experiences that feel like shit were meant for, then that's the work that I do as well. I help you understand that and get that insight. It's not something that comes from me. It actually comes from you. All the answers that you need are inside of you. How to access them, that's what I do. I help you learn how to access those answers so that you get all the answers that you need. Because seriously, you have everything you need every day. You do. But if you have the wrong perception of something, if you have the conditioned mind that tells you that life is hard, or you wasted a bunch of time, or you're not good enough, or that you're just, or that you have to have all these accomplishments to be someone, and then you do all of them and they feel empty. You're not your accomplishments. You're not any of that stuff. You're not your experiences, but you feel and relive them energetically through your emotions. And so we need to get some order in the emotions. Right? That's what we do. So right now, like I said, I only work with a certain number of clients at one time because the work I do is very personal. It's very personal, right? So the program, while the program's only 11/11 through 11/11, I only have a set amount of people that I can work with at one time because that's what I choose, because you matter to me. Right? So if this is of interest, then let's do a call. It's a quick call. It's very casual. I want to know where you're at. Here's what you can know coming into the call. You're going to tell me where you're at. What do you want? What feels like it's standing in your way? And I'm going to help you assess how to close the gap. Right? Now, if it's something you've never had before, that might seem weird, right? Because if you want something you've never had before, how do I do that? I'm gonna help you close that gap and figure out what tools and energy resources you need to make that happen. And guess what? Once you learn the process, you can do it over and over and over and over again. And you will no longer walk around with all this crap unless, like I explained earlier, where I had something come up over the weekend and I sat with it because I'm like, where is this coming from? And it was a series of little things that happened that activated that. And I recognized, oh my God, this time last year, I was dealing with those emotions. My intuition is saying it's time for you to create more space. And you know who I'm creating space for? You. I create space for you. See, I'd walk my talk and I was just like, oh, you should do this. It's really cool and pretty fun. Yep, happens to me too. But I know the process and I know what to do with it. And boom, I'll be out of it by the end of the day. Now that I've recognized it. When you don't recognize it, you don't know, you just think you're stuck with all these feelings, but you're not stuck with anything, and they're not meant to hurt you. I mean, that's it. Like, let's throw some, here, where's my compassion? Hang on. Let's throw some compassion in for like our negative emotions, because they're just doing their job. That's why I have an issue with people trying to numb them out. They're trying to do their job. They're not going to go away. Their job is to get your attention. So no matter what you do to try and distract or put it away or numb it out, they don't go away. These jaggedy, yucky feeling emotions are here. You got them on purpose. They're here to serve you. And they really, to me, they deserve as much. When I have anxiety, which I've had over the weekend, I had some fear because of what I was explaining. Man, I value that. Because I don't want that playing around in my energy while I'm trying to step out and help people who want to have a mission and fulfill their divine purpose, like get out in the world. I want to be free and clear. I think you'd want me to be that too. So this is about having a conversation. I appreciate your time today. Just know that you're not stuck with anything. It's all on purpose. But we have to give it new meaning and new purpose so that it can show up the way it was intended, which was to make you the best version of you. That's what I'm here to do, is to help you do that. And you know what? It's simple, and it's actually pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Now, I'm not saying there's not stuff that doesn't come up that isn't a little rough or fun, but that's the magic of the process I use, where you're not reliving it, okay? You're assessing it, you're observing it, and you're redefining it. You're in the power seat. When you work with me, you're in the power seat. I want you walking through your life, reeling and feeling and just dialing things in that you want, activating the emotions that you want, right? So just as you move through your day, I want you to visualize what's activated in my energy body. What am I focusing on? What am I perceiving based on what I've activated, right? And if I change what I activate and change my perception, how will my life change? Amazing, right? So you can walk around with all your beautiful emotions more highly activated. Because you can't, think about this, you can't feel all your emotions at one time. You would freak out, okay? So choose the ones you want to feel. Activate them by bringing presence to them. Thank you so much for the love I feel. Thank you so much for the empowerment I feel. Thank you so much for the confidence I have to rock my world. That's the way you go through your life. Okay? That's what I want to leave you with today. I hope this was visually helpful and otherwise. And seriously, let's discuss whether or not the Conscious Dream Creator program is right for you and get you into it, or what program might be the next first step. It isn't that I don't want you in it or trying to blah, blah. It's about figuring out where you're at on your path, because we have people in the Energy Lounge and in my community, and I know you're at all different stages, and some are just starting, and some are less awake, and some are more awake, and I want to make sure it's the right fit for you. But for right now, the Conscious Dream Creator is 11/11. It's 12 weeks to work with me privately. You're not going to get that. But it's on special right now, because this is the shift that's going on, and this is what I was told was needed. Thank you, guides and universe. So I'm passing it on to you to help you activate what you want, repurpose what's not serving you, literally, so that you can step into, whether it's you getting a message you want to share, or teaching other people something that you've learned, and having the confidence and conviction and ease to do it, right? Or maybe it's a personal goal, and you might look at something like that. But we'll have that conversation and assess that, and then we'll move on from there. Thank you for joining me today. If you're not in the Energy Lounge, please join us over there. If you do know someone, by the way, that's really feeling depressed or a lot of anxiety, or their emotions are not fun to feel and they don't know what to do about it, or they've tried other things, I have just done amazing work with people who have tried traditional therapy and medication and had zero results. So send them my way. I'd be more than happy to talk with them. But share this video, right? Just let them know that, hey, because I care. I've been on both sides of everything. had someone try to convince me that it ran in the family and I had no options or choice. If you look at my life, you can see that is absolutely untrue. And if I can do it, I know I can show you how to do it too. All right. So I love you. Have a beautiful week. I look forward to talking with those of you that are feeling called right now, that want to take a step in your divine purpose direction. I got you. I'm holding space for you. And I can't wait to get this activated so that you're free flowing and feeling good. Let's have that conversation. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye for now. I have to zip around and hit the button. All right. Bye.